Yo, what's up, man?
Hey, what's up? How you doing?
So, good. Can you hear me all right?
I can hear you fine.
Okay, so your name's Leon?
Yeah.
What's going on, man? So,
No,
go ahead.
no, I'm sorry. I just wanted to say not much, just trying to get my things done. Finally, I had a day off from work.
So, are you a student or you just work?
Oh, I just work full time now.
And where do you work at?
I work at a hospital. I do valet.
Ah, nice.
Yeah, it's not a great job, but it's for the meantime. It's what I can do to put bread on the table.
Well, I want to actually talk about that a little bit, but just I'm recording already. You recording?
Yep, I'm recording.
Cool. So I'm Dan. I'm 27. I was recently laid off from sales at Fox News. I'm 27 years old. Did I say that already? And
Yeah.
I graduated from.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know.
You didn't know what?
Really? You worked at Fox News?
Yeah, I was doing sales at Fox News, and actually they let me go. I left on good terms. They told me they would like recommend me to any other station, but someone else with like far more experience came, and they're trying to like really pull this station together. It's a small team, so they're like, we got to let you go, but the station manager told me, if you want me to write you a letter of recommendation to other stations in other cities, we'll be happy to do that. It's just, it was a very, I don't know, they just let me go. And I didn't want to be there anyways. It was so stressful. Like, just working with salespeople in general, they all are kind of like special people, very like, I don't know, they're all very driven and very productive, but there's also like this level of fakeness in a certain way. Like they're kind of like loose cannons, almost like they're bipolar, because they're working on commissions and they get these big deals. So I was kind of like the little errand boy that helped out all these other salespeople to reach their goals and organize their clients and keep track of their revenue and like send receipts to clients and reports for the ads they're running on the channel. So it was an interesting job and I learned a lot, but I wanted to leave anyways because I was out in Arizona for the last year, and the reason I moved there was because my brother and his wife live there. But then they moved away about a month before I got fired, or I got kind of laid off. I don't know if it was fired, but either way, they moved to Colorado, and I was the only one here in the middle of nowhere. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to move to Colorado too. So what I did is called my parents up, told them I was going to come home, visit for a month while I looked for a job in Colorado. So that way I wouldn't have to pay my rent out in Arizona.
Yeah.
And so my dad flew out to help me drive my car back. And we got about maybe 3/4 of the way home. My car broke down. It was totaled. So I don't have money to pay for a new car. I already put like over $1,000 into fixing my car before the trip to make sure it would be good to drive across the country. So basically we rented a car, and then we got back to my parents' home in Florida. And now I'm here. I have no car, not enough money to buy a new car, no job. And my real aspiration's been with YouTube and doing creative things, because I've had other jobs and I just don't fit in with the whole workplace personality and the fake smiles. And not that everybody's fake, but the whole 9 to 5 thing is not fulfilling to me, and I just don't want to wake up when I'm 40 or 50 years old and be like, what have I done with my life?
Everybody's like that at a certain point. I'm glad that at least you're putting in work and, not wasting the time, because the time that you're using now can help you by the time you get to that certain age where you are actually happy at what you're doing.
Exactly. I mean, I'd rather at least try, and if I fail, I fail. If I win, I win. I mean, if I'm doing what I like and I can support myself in some way, that's like the ultimate goal. And that might even be more work than it would be at a traditional job. But if I'm doing what I like, I can sleep better at night, and I'm so much more fulfilled by making things with my own, skills and experiences and helping other people through that than just sitting at Fox News selling people advertisements that nobody really cares about. And it's just a whole different perspective. And the people over at Fox were very nice to me, but I didn't really want to work there going into it. It was just a good paying job, and it was kind of up my experience as far as college goes, because I studied business, economics, and finance in college. So I was like, okay, I might as well get some experience, and having that job has opened up other doors for me, but I'm not ready to pursue any of that yet, because I want to do this pretty much and just network with people. And so that's a long story, kind of long, but about that hospital, you work at the ER and you do valet, or what is it?
Yeah, I work at the emergency room, make sure nobody crashes each other, making sure everybody gets medical attention on time. I also watch parking lots and all that. I make pretty decent money, but it's still not enough to really get by.
Right.
Because
I hear you.
I'm stuck on this part-time. And I kind of related to what you said, because it is kind of like a 9-to-5 feel.
Right.
Because I don't have like a stable schedule, because I'm always on call. So I can have my certain hours, and then they could drop second and have mandatory overtime. And it's something I don't want to be doing for the rest of my life. Because I had another job too. I used to work at Walmart, and it was just nuts. My first day was Black Friday.
Oh no!
It didn't sell well for me. I worked all the way through Christmas. It wasn't seasonal. Like, I applied for the full time, and they actually gave it to me. But once that season went over, they actually let me go as well, and I was jobless for like a good half year till I found this job.
Okay.
And I'm just saving money up for my car, because the first one I had, I bought off some guy off the streets for cheap, but I ended up putting way more money into it, and it didn't even run well.
I've been there, man.
And it ended up breaking down for me.
One of my last cars I got out of the junkyard, and I got the car for free from somebody, and then we went to a junkyard and scrapped the alternator out of another car and fixed this one, but then that was another whole long story. But man, retail is no cakewalk, because most of the time nobody wants
super stressful.
Nobody wants to be there. I've worked retail, and the people that are up top like to just be over your shoulder and supervising everybody a lot of times. And
yeah, they make us do most of the work, and they make most of the money.
And then the customers are a whole nother thing. But that ER job you have, that sounds kind of intense. Do you like see a lot of crazy stuff when you're doing that?
Yeah, I see a whole bunch of people. I remember during New Year's and a couple weeks before the year was over, there was a lot of people who decided to go drive their motorcycles and go dirt riding. For some reason, they were all doing that throughout the whole week. And I seen so many people with their knees, their bones sticking right out of their legs.
Oh
and
my God.
Two people died. People died.
That's crazy.
They were really old. And they had two newborns the same day come out the same hospital that the two people have died inside the ER.
That's the kind of the crazy thing about a hospital, seeing birth and death and suffering and joy all happen under the same place.
Yeah, and the customers are a whole different story, because they're just like the people at Walmart. Sometimes they can get really rude. I try to do my best and keep my composure. There is this guy who, his wife just sprained her arm, right? So I was like, let me be courteous, let me help out, see what you're doing. All right, I offer a wheelchair and stuff like that, and he just goes like, yeah, get us a fucking wheelchair. What do you think we're here for the emergency room? And I'm like, Jesus, man.
Yeah, that's an interesting kind of predicament too, because people are they're going to the hospital because they can't fix the problem themselves most of the time. And sorry, excuse me, I had a little drinking some Pepsi here.
No, it's cool. I got me some Pepsi too.
Oh, word, Pepsi Club. But yeah, these people are
It's not
going and they're
sponsored.
kind of...
It's not sponsored.
No, it's not sponsored. I'm not even probably going to make any money from this video, but the point is having fun, really.
Oh yeah, man.
So, like I was saying, people are going to the hospital because they need help, and I think a lot of people don't want to go to the hospital, obviously, but people feel helpless and they want to control things, and maybe the people that are coming through there aren't in their normal state of mind. So I can imagine.
Yeah, a lot of adrenaline. Adrenaline. Am I pronouncing that right?
Adrenaline.
Yeah, there
adrenaline.
we go. That word.
Yeah, a little dyslexia there. You might need to go to the hospital.
Definitely. And then the nighttime shifts are a lot worse. There is this lady coming up, go across the street for a cigarette, and a patient starts walking out. She was taking her cigarette, and then she walks to a light pole. And I'm like, why is she staring at this light pole? And then she starts yelling, "Oh, I'm not a crazy bitch. You're a crazy bitch. Don't tell me what to do."
I think that's the sign of a crazy bitch right there. That's something a crazy bitch would definitely say.
You see a whole bunch of people drunk and doped up. There's this person, I'm not kidding you, multiple times there has been people who overdose. The person who they're in a car with just drops off the patient and leaves.
Huh.
Yeah, they come all
maybe
doped
because they're
up
scared of getting arrested or something.
Yeah, and then the cops come and did he ask me, did you see the car and the thing? I was like, no, this guy just gave him a wheelchair. As soon as I put him in a wheelchair, he rushed right out.
Yeah, because they don't want to go to jail, I bet.
Yeah, the only best I could do, it's like a green Toyota, a GMC Silver, you know, that's, I can't tell you the license plate, officer. I mean, I'm wearing glasses. That will indicate that I don't have that great of a sight.
You know, this actually reminds me of a story about myself. I don't know if I told you this, but I'm an alcoholic. I don't drink anymore, but back in around like 2010 through 2012, alcohol got me in a lot of problems, and I dropped out of college, which I eventually went back and finished, but I broke up with this girl I was planning on marrying.
Dude, I have the same story.
I broke my parents' trust. I lost all my parents' trust. I got kicked out of the house. I went to like a crazy cult-like recovery home that was with a bunch of homeless people and drug addicts.
Was it a rehab center?
Not traditionally. It was like the super Christian place, but it was very cult-like.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I could go on for hours about that story. I think I should talk about it in another episode, but I'm actually writing a book about this place with one of the guys that lived there with me, because we got kicked out of that place together, and then there's a whole crazy story surrounding that, but basically, one time I got drunk and I threw up all over like my windshield in some subdivision, and then fell asleep in my car on a really hot day. And I guess, I don't remember what happened. I just blacked out because I was drinking down at this creek, drinking hard liquor, and I was taking anxiety medication at the time, benzodiazepines. And I was like, oh, they told you not to drink, but I'm going to try drinking once. And so that was a bad combo, and I was on antidepressants and all this stuff. So I wake up in the hospital with a catheter, a little tube coming out of my penis, strapped down in a gown with nothing on underneath, and this tube coming out of my dick, and my arms were strapped to either side of the chair. So I have no idea what happened, but obviously it wasn't good. And when I woke up, I was like trying to pull myself out of this thing. There's nobody in the room. I was by myself in this hospital room.
The paranoia.
My parents can't find out about this. I need to get pull this. And I tried pulling the catheter out of my dick, and it stung so bad. It was the most painful thing. So I just kind of left it there. And eventually I got out, but I had to go track down my car. And I think around that time I was like, I think I really do have a problem and I need to get help, and I got to get off all these medications. So that's kind of, to make a long story short, that's kind of what I did. But it's interesting to hear about all the people coming to the hospital and kind of...
Yeah, if you came in, we'll just see you as like a normal patient, just drunk off his mind.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I blacked out because I don't remember a thing.
Did you ever get a backstory from one of the nurses or any ambulances or anything? Or
Well, no. I just remember being at the creek, drinking straight gin in a creek with two of my friends at the time. And then they're like, hey, we're going to go to the bar. So I got in my car stupidly, drove down the street, but I was like, wait a minute, I cannot drive. So I drove like a block or two, pulled over to the side of the subdivision, and that's like when I threw up and passed out. And then like I remember a cop at my window, like knocking at my window and kind of like barely seeing him, just like him leaning over looking in the window at me. And then I remember waking up in the hospital, and that's it. And I haven't really thought about that until now. It's been a long time, but alcohol is a terrible drug, you know? It ruined a lot of things in my life, and to a certain extent, I'm still trying to recover from that. I mean, I think once you're an alcoholic, you're always an alcoholic or an addict, and it's just, everybody's got problems. So, but with an alcoholic, it's like our brains are wired differently, and you gotta like actively be working with people to, you know, like in a program or with a mentor.
You need other people to try to push the mentality that you can do it. Alcohol. Yeah, I mean, I see very easily addiction to alcohol because once you start drinking, the alcohol kicks in and it makes you feel better. And I've been hammered a fair times, and it's fun. I'm not gonna deny that it is fun.
Yeah, well, that's why people do it.
Yeah, I try my best not to drink when I'm at a sad state of mind because it enhances that. Because I met this girl in college that broke my heart, and I stopped going because I had bills I had to pay. So I ended up taking more hours at work, and the school was getting in the way of me actually making money. Plus, one of the reasons I dropped out of school, just like a side note, there's too many restrictions because I've taken a video production class and stuff like that.
Okay.
And what ended up happening was whenever they will give me a topic, I will go without a filter, and they will tell me I'm completely wrong. I mean, I'll still get a good grade, but...
What do you mean without a filter?
I couldn't say fuck or bitch, or I couldn't hit girls.
Like they're censoring you, or they didn't want...
Yeah, they didn't want any active violence, but this girl can pretend to commit suicide. This one on the video she turned in. I punched a girl as a joke. Not like for say we were acting, and it was inside the video, and my teacher got mad at me. But this girl, she tried to send like a message saying suicide isn't funny, and she could pretend to slit her wrist, but me punching a girl is going too far.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And all she got was like, oh yeah, that's right, we see lots of teenagers. And I take suicide seriously. I mean, when people make jokes, I don't find it that offensive.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like having your own freedom of creativity just being looked down just because...
that seems counterintuitive, especially for creative people. Like, you want people to explore without boundaries.
It's not like I was like, oh, you're a bitch, I'm gonna kill you just because you're female. The whole skit that I was doing, it was about abuse. She was very vague about this. It was like, she just said, do anything you want in a video, just make sure that the message is across about abuse. And I made that abuse into a comedy skit. And they thought since I was making a joke, that they thought I was making fun of the whole it's funny to abuse people.
Triggered.
Yeah, they're triggered. But I was like, I was just trying to make this message more entertaining than just a boring, like a boring video you will see anywhere.
I hear that, and what's interesting is a lot of times the comedy that I like best, and I feel like the most successful comedians, people like Louis C.K.
Yeah.
One of the comedians said this. He's like, comedy is able to take you to a really dark place that people tend to be afraid of and make it into a lighter situation or make it into something you can laugh about, like death or suicide. And I actually had several suicide attempts in my past that wound me up in the ER also. And I take suicide seriously. I always want to reach out to anybody I can to help them if
That's
they
always
need help.
good.
But most of the time it feels like I'm the only sad person in the world, even though that's a lie. There's so many people that are lonely. But
I'm with you on that boat.
I also can laugh at suicide, and I can laugh at things knowing... I think one of the things that's being lost with all this political correctness is people just can't take jokes as much. And there's even a documentary called, like, Can't We Take a Joke? With this Christina Pazitsky, who is married to Tom Segura. I think she'd have had a part in there, but it just talks about, comedy and how people get so offended by things. And it's like you can tell a joke without having to take it seriously. It's a joke. It's not... I mean, there's a difference between saying something hatefully and saying something just kind of trying to be funny,
Yeah, I mean, there's some tasteless jokes out there, but yeah, there's a whole difference between saying the actual thing and actually doing it.
Right.
I'm not gonna lie, I did try to kill myself a couple of times, and I was going through a depressed state with the girl that I was talking to and stuff like that.
Sorry to hear that.
No, it's fine. Now I can just look back and laugh at it because my sense of humor, that's how I cope. And I think that's how everybody should look at it. If they can learn to like laugh at situations, to kind of desensitize them to it, so when it actually happens, they're more calm.
Right. Yeah. Life is just such a strange thing anyways. It's like ultimately, if you think about it for a long time, you realize that from my own opinion, I feel like if you think about it, ultimately everything that we're doing right now, everything on the internet, everything that's gone on in the past generations, decades, centuries, all of our hopes and dreams and aspirations, all of our orgasms, all of our pain, it's all ultimately meaningless. And it's kind of like life is this dramatic joke of sorts, and whatever you set your mind to, kind of whatever you take stage to implement in your life and focus on, will sort of have a funny way of sprouting up in unexpected places.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. That's definitely a good route to go to, because life is too short and you don't want to be a sad sack all your life.
Yeah, it's, I don't know, I feel like when my parents were graduating from college back in the 70s, they were coming into a more stable economy and a much more conservative, not just in terms of politics, but in terms of the state of mind and how television and media were portrayed. Everything almost seems so innocent back in the 70s, just based on my skewed, imagination of it. But now it's like, what is job security? People that graduate from college, they'll go for like 3 or 5 or 6 careers. Like, people have way more changes in their careers now than they did in the past generations. So it's like, there's no security. You could lose your job tomorrow. Someone does something on Wall Street, you're fired. So I would like to find my own survival skills in my own business. And if not, just die trying, pretty much, because, I don't know. I feel like you have to have that attitude to make it in anything you do. Like, just a total belief, a total confidence in your goal and total focus on that, so to the point that you're totally absorbed in whatever it is you're trying to create and what you're doing. It's just like you have to totally immerse yourself in this thing in order to grow through it.
Yeah, there's a lot of things we have to try to look through with a different view. Like what you said about the college thing, about your jobs being secure and all that. The same thing they were telling me when I went to college, that they will help me find a job. But for my field, like graphic designing and stuff,
yeah,
the job's not really guaranteed as much and probably the most jobs out there is marketing for my field, which is very tough to get in. And another thing, jobs not guaranteed, and you might have to go independent.
Yeah, it's not only experience, it's like your skill set too.
Yeah, and there's that whole focus of you trying to be set. And if I'm stressed looking for a job and not expanding my talent or the person that I am to try to make this money, I have to go a different direction with what I want to go to. So I ended up stop graphic designing, and I just went job full time, and I tried to discover myself. I still, dabble in Photoshop and all that. And I was like, I need to find a way to make money that I'm happy doing instead of working this valet or Walmart or any of that. Yeah. I actually could make my friends laugh, and I enjoy making them laugh. So what should I try to do? And I started looking into stand-up and music, and I want to combine those two and try to be consumed by my creativity and actually try to make a living while I can off my talent than working a 9-to-5 job at a place I'd rather not be.
Yeah, and that's great that you're doing that, because so many people just think about it and always dwell on, I'd be so much happier if I pursued that thing I liked, but people like me, I studied business, economics, and finance in college. I had no interest in it, and I don't plan on really pursuing that. I mean, it might come in handy at some point, but now in retrospect, I wish I had followed my intuition and done something like audio or graphics, because I took graphics in high school. But yeah, you're right. The market, I think in one hand, the market for graphics and digital design is bigger than it's ever been today, and tomorrow will be even bigger. But it also is highly competitive. And
yeah, it is highly competitive. Very highly. And there's certain types of aspects and styles that artists go through, and you can be a famous artist but still be struggling at the same time. I've known a lot of artists that worked for some of the bands that I listen to. I listen to a lot of death metal, deathcore, and all those subgenres. And it's tough for them to actually make. Some of them are lucky. Some of them do this full time, but the majority, they still have a job on the side because their art is not their more main source of income.
Exactly. And it seems like there's gotta, like, a lot of times success, in whatever terms you want to define it as, seems like there's oftentimes sacrifices made, and maybe you choose to eat sardines for dinner like Notorious B.I.G., or maybe you're one of the actors from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia during the first season or two had to work at a Hollywood night bar to make ends meet. And those stories go on and on. And what I was talking about in a video I just made earlier today is that there's a tendency to look at other people like they don't have any struggles and they have everything given to them.
Yeah.
But even the rich or poor, people who worked for their fame or people who were given their fame, everybody struggles. Everybody has to go through the hardship of creating and trying to get their message out there. And if it's not the struggle of getting your message out there, everybody still has those internal struggles and those demons that kind of, to a certain extent plague their life. And nobody's just going through life without crappy moments and bad days, but it's choosing to persevere with a sort of fierceness and rise above your circumstances, because there's 100 reasons, thousands of reasons why I shouldn't, if I want to be logic about it, why I shouldn't pursue YouTube, why I shouldn't pursue podcasting. But in order to succeed, you have to throw all those aside and do what you can with what you have.
Yeah, that's very tough. I can get how some things can hold you back, because some people are like, yeah, I got this job that actually shows that I'm working hard and it actually pays the bills. I'm not happy doing it, but I have to. And they're afraid of taking a step out their comfort zone. I finally had the balls to put time into what I'm doing. Last year I was like, I'm 22 years old, but at the time I'm 30, I don't want to still be working at this job. I want to be able to do what I want for a living. And there might be depressing moments and stuff like that through the career, because there is a lot of sacrifice, like you said before. And I know all that stuff is coming, but at the same time, I'll be much happier working my dream job than my day job.
You know, and I definitely agree. And I think there's a tendency to look at art and be like, maybe if I make it through art and I become successful, then I'll be free. But I think one of the goals, or one way to look at it, is finding freedom through your art and then expressing that. So you become liberated through your passion, your craft, whatever skill, and then through that, your message helps others feel liberated, or helps others feel validated, or gives them some sort of, whatever your message is within the art.
Yeah,
so
which is a lot better. I admire you and the rest of the people that are actually taking time and stepping out of their comfort zone and pursue something, at least something, because not everyone is not as fortunate as, rich people or the big YouTubers or musicians out there that we all look up to. And there's always someone there that's inspired by what others do. And they're like, You know what? That person is the reason why I'm here today. And I'm glad that he gave me the inspiration to actually go ahead and pursue my dream.
Exactly. And if I didn't have my parents here, if they didn't allow me to come home to live with them, I think it'd be a lot harder, because before, when I was working, I was still trying to pursue my career, or what I wanted to do, my passion, after work. And I had so little energy. My job just sucked all the life out of me, to the point where all I could do is come home after work, make dinner, and lay on the couch or the futon watching Game of Thrones, and maybe crank out a low-quality video, or do something. But I couldn't get into the minute details of it and trying to actually improve and enhance my skills, except on the weekends. And even then, on the weekends, I'd be so drained from my job.
Yeah.
And that's how it's been with my other jobs. But right now, I have an opportunity that I'm taking a risk in doing. My dad isn't particularly excited about it. He doesn't really want me to do this. I'm probably going to have to find a job right now as well, so I can continue to do this. But it might be a part-time, it might be full-time. But I just feel like right now I have an opportunity, and I gotta take it. Like that old Eminem song, if you had one shot, one chance, would you take it? Mom spaghetti, mom spaghetti.
Mom spaghetti, mom.
There's vomit on his sweater already. He keeps forgetting what he wrote down.
You ever seen the remix to that? Somebody made a parody and they just kept on spaghetti.
Yeah, the Mom Spaghetti remix. That's all it says, the whole song. It's just Mom Spaghetti, Mom Spaghetti.
Mom Spaghetti is ready. You only get one Mom Spaghetti.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I used to spam that over my Facebook when it came out. It was great. One of the dankiest and best memes ever. I don't care what people say. If it's a dead meme, it's still pretty funny.
The guy Mark I was talking to last night liked to talk about dank memes too, but I don't know, how did you find my Twitter? Is it from a tweet I made, or I'm also
I found it through Colossal.
Oh, was it the really weird video I posted?
Yeah, he liked one of your videos that you posted.
Yeah,
and I was like, who's this guy?
I think it got like over 100 or close to 100 likes on it, which is very surprising.
Yeah, I follow Colossal. I'm such a big fan. So once I saw whenever he likes something, I'm always intrigued by it. So I'm like, cool, let me see what this is all about. And then that's when I stumbled upon your Twitter.
Yeah, I have had Twitter for several years now, but I wasn't using it regularly. It was very, very rarely. Like, I think I made an account, tried posting for a few months, and I just didn't get any engagement. I didn't understand the purpose of it. But then this past year, I think I was like watching Drama Alert, and I started seeing like all these behind the scenes things that go on Twitter. So I was like, I'm gonna go explore that, and I've actually, excuse me, I'm burping here. Nasty.
That's cool.
I've actually been able to reach a lot of my favorite creators. That's how I got the interview with Disaster Piece. All I did was tweeted and asked him, and I've been able to talk to a lot of people like Colossal, and it's pretty awesome for that reason, that it kind of, breaks down the barriers and lets people connect from all different places in the world, from all different walks of life. So I actually really like Twitter now.
Yeah, I used to be like that. I used to be like, nah, you know what? Twitter isn't very, like, my stick. I don't know what's the point of it. And I ended up getting a whole bunch of likes and a couple of tweets when I went after social justice warriors. And all those likes really, like, boost up my ego.
Yeah. It's weird, there's like, people like to criticize people for doing things for views or for asking for likes, but it's like, the human condition, like, everybody wants to be accepted, everybody wants to be validated, and of course it doesn't mean everything in the world, but it does feel nice to know that people see what you do and they recognize, your thought. But yeah, that's kind of the cool thing about social media in general.
Yeah, and you have people with the same ideas that actually support you, so you're not like, oh, so I'm not that nuts. This guy actually, he's on the same page as me, so I'm not as crazy as I thought I was.
Yeah, and for Twitter, it's like, I don't follow anybody really from my high school or from college. I just follow people I'm interested in, and that's kind of the same thing I do on Instagram. Just kind of follow what I'm interested in, whereas Facebook, I barely, like, I probably check it once a day, but I just kind of look at my notifications and sign out, because it's just, there's so many things and baby pictures and people getting married, and I just don't care, or it makes me upset in a way to see these other people and see where I'm at and be like, I should be more successful, I should have a family, I should be having babies, but really, I'm glad I don't have a baby or a wife at this point, because I'm working on myself. I can't believe people that get married so young.
Yeah, I question that as well, because I'm like, oh, they're not going to be able to do the things that I do. Or if they do get to try to pursue the career that I want as a entertainer, what's going to happen is they might have less time for everything. And that's where the whole thing just starts breaking down, when they have to, constantly go on tour to keep bread on the table for their family back at home. But it's like, I get to do what I always wanted to do, but I kind of need to leave my family behind to pursue it.
Right, and my parents have been on vacation this week. They went to my grandpa's funeral, but I've actually just enjoyed having this peace at home. Like, all I've just been doing is watching my dog, working on things like this, and just kind of like relaxing and not having to think about trying to please other people, and just being able to work on this without any holding much back. But the thing about success and all that, it's funny to imagine one day if you got successful, like, those people that were there for you when you were nothing. And it's like, I can imagine the people who get famous, and these people are like, oh man, I want to be your friends, let's hang out now that you're famous and you got all this work. But it's like,
yeah,
who will help me make the bread? And the other thing is, I really, there's a dark part of me that kind of wants to start seeing my high school friends or acquaintances start getting divorced. And once does it post on Facebook, like, so-and-so divorced so-and-so, or not?
Oh my God.
Or like, this person's baby died. Yes! No, I wouldn't be like that, but there's part of me that kind of wants to see these relationships fall apart, and it's kind of fascinating to watch.
Yeah, so you're there for the whole progress. You're like, God, they're going to fail. They are going to fail.
Yeah. Facebook kind of sucks.
It censorizes everybody. It takes down posts that you just randomly report without actually reviewing it, like YouTube, where they have the YouTube heroes now. Is that still a thing?
They got such a bad backlash when they announced that a few months ago, and I haven't heard anything from YouTube directly about that. I think PewDiePie signed up to be a YouTube hero, but I have not seen anything about that in any of my email communication from YouTube. So I have no idea.
Yeah, I hate when Google starts asking me, oh, so what do you think about the new platform and stuff when they started adding updates? I was actually took my time and wrote like my thoughts, and they didn't listen at all, because I'm pretty sure me and a couple of thousand people that support the platform have the same idea where it's just being taken advantage of. It used to be a place, and Bo Burnham, Tyler the Creator, and other celebrities have said this, that kind of blew up on YouTube, where a platform used to be for people who have small channels and get a chance to actually express themselves and be more have more exposure on a platform. And all these smaller channels, whatever they pursue to do, they're not gonna have the same chance as like talk show host channels and stuff like that, like Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon, Conan. Like, I love Conan, but once a YouTube channel started popping up, that's all I see on trending most of the time. And I never see any upcoming YouTube musicians, YouTube comedians, YouTube writers, actors, none of those.
Actually, there's an update this past week that YouTube's going to start putting channels with at least 1,000 subs, or kind of in that 1,000 sub area that is starting to get more attention. They're going to start putting them on the trending tab, you know, bit by bit. And my channel just broke 1,000 subs right before New Year's. So there is a possibility that I could land on there. And so I'm trying to put a lot of content out right now, and trying to, you know, work on my format so that there's things that people instantly recognize. Like, I just made a new logo, and I redid all my thumbnails. I redid all my thumbnails, and I'm trying to come up with a consistent intro, maybe a tagline, things that make it memorable so that you can kind of hear it and then you have a connection or a memory to a previous video or something I did. And I would love to end up on trending. I mean, all it takes on YouTube sometimes is just a shout out from somebody who likes your work.
That's true.
I think a lot of people just in general, even before the internet, like dreamed of being on television one day. And it's cool that you can even get your voice out there with YouTube, even if nobody's really watching or nobody's really listening. Just being able to get your voice out there is really cool, and I think it kind of fans the flames of that infatuation. Like, you want to be successful, and for me, yes, I want to make money doing this. I want to make a lot of money, as much as I can, but a lot of my videos I haven't even monetized because I'm trying to build up an audience, because at this point, putting ads on my videos is kind of just like
pointless.
It's going to give people another reason to click off, and I want people to hang around and listen to it.
Yeah, that's true. You don't want a lot of ads just spawning out of nowhere, and people just lose their attention on it or focus. I kind of feel a little unsafe with that. I don't know if I'm using the right word. I don't think it's unsafe, but having a chance to be on the trending channel for smaller channels who pass the 100,000 mark.
So it's for the 1,000 subscriber mark.
1,000 subscriber mark. There's a lot of channels like that, and I don't know if you follow Leon Lush on Twitter. It's not me.
I don't follow him, but I've seen him several times. He's been popping up, kind of having synchronicities with that name lately.
Yeah, I've watched his video, and he actually did statistics of how many small channels are going to get a chance, and it was a very small number of them ever getting on the trending channel.
Probably better than the lottery, though.
Probably better than the lottery, yeah. So, I mean, if you do, I have full confidence in you. If you do end up going on it, then that's very good for your channel and all that. Just hopefully you at least get a chance.
One of the things that's in my advantage right now is that I don't have a large audience, and I feel like I can kind of say whatever I want because there's few people listening, and probably, I don't know how many people are even going to get this far in this video. If you do, write 777 in the comments. But
Right. Oh, right. You got people. What's up?
One of the things I have is just my ability to be authentic with people, and I'm trying to take my weaknesses and use them in a way that I can connect with people, like through my past addictions with alcohol and through depression, and kind of use that as a way to connect with people and also to overcome those things and do something productive, to turn the negative to a positive. Because I'm all about the kind of law of attraction, positivity, and just focusing on what you want and what you want to accomplish. Because your thoughts become your reality in a funny kind of way.
Yeah. Damn, I was gonna say something. It was no, I lost it.
That's all good. I think
it was something inspirational. I swear I had something.
You know what? We can save it and then write it in the comments of the video if you remember, because it's at 45 minutes now for the recording, and I don't want them to go over an hour at this point just for the sake of listener retention. Like I said, if you made it this far, type 777 in the comments. I actually had one person do that on the last video. But any final words you want to say? We can continue talking after this. I just want to stop the recording.
Yeah, sure. I really appreciate the opportunity of being here, and I might be a nobody now, but once I start releasing my mixtape and my creativity side will be shown through whatever I post on my channel, which I'm going to start up very soon.
All right, man. Well, what's your Twitter so people can follow you?
My Twitter is LeonEncore, LeonEncore.
LeonEncore.
Yeah. It's like if you ever listen to Eminem, his Encore album.
Yeah, Encore.
Yeah. It was
cool,
bomb.
Man. All right, well, thanks for stopping by the Mandoreen podcast.
All right, thank you.